Hello and happy Tuesday. My name is Michael Leeserman here with the Trial Guide's tip of the day. The date is February 4th, 2025, and our tip today comes from Bill Barton's book, Recovering for Psychological Injuries. Never become upset when the judge rules against you. During trial, you need every ounce of energy. Do not waste any by harboring resentment against an unfavorable ruling. It is futile and only plays into your opponent's hands. Yeah, this is absolutely right. There's many reasons not to waste your energy on a ruling, even if you think it's wrong. I mean, you argue it if it's something once in a great while where you feel very strongly, you can maybe push back a little, and other than that, just move on. It's because it is futile. Otherwise, if you're doing it in front of the jury, then it's really bad. Because you're showing that you can't follow the law or take in what the judge says or who knows what. And if it's outside the jury, same thing. And you don't need the judge to see you as someone who will push back against everything and argue no matter what, right? It's actually not our job. Our job is to argue and be an adversary and a champion, and to do that within the bounds of the law and truth. What comes to mind for me is a case I had, and there were competing summary judgment motions, or I guess directed verdict motions, at the end of the defendant's evidence. I asked for a directed verdict on, in Ohio, what is a permanent and substantial physical deformity. Said all the evidence in the case showed that there was one. We had testimony, they didn't. The defense filed a directed verdict motion saying, as a matter of law, our injury was not permanent and substantial physical deformity, and thought we're going to win that. It had a huge consequence, because if that definition is met, then there's no caps, and if it's not met, there are caps. It's not a substantial physical deformity. And the judge ruled against us. Now, this is one of those rare instances where I pushed back a little. Judge, after I'd argued the cases and it was briefed, are you sure there's this case? And no, I made my ruling. And then I stopped. It was time for a closing argument. I was very upset, and I needed to set that aside, not waste my energy. I think Bill had a great point here, Bill Barton. I needed to save my energy for closing. I still had to close, and I would deal with it on appeal. What I didn't want to do was to bring my anger or resentment to the jury. That wasn't going to help. That would just hurt the case. So here's another bonus of being fair in your response, right? Gracious in your response, respectful, I guess, is the most important thing in your response. I was very respectful of the judge. He saw that I hadn't really pushed back on anything else, and this was, a slight pushback. I felt strongly about it, and when he ruled and said, "That's my ruling," I accepted it and walked away to get ready for closing. When we came back, after a 10 or 15-minute break, the judge came in and said to his bailiff, "Before we bring the jury back, Mr. Leeserman, I was thinking about what you'd argued and changed my mind. I'm going to send it to the jury. I think it's a question of fact." Phew. That made literally more than it was a $10 million difference when the jury came back with their verdict. And I'm confident that if I had really pushed back, if I'd really argued, we've all seen that, right? Berated the judge, or "I can't believe the court," some kind of histrionics. I don't think the judge would have gone back and really thought about what I said. I believe that because I accepted all his rulings for and against me throughout the trial without question, I think this one, just a tiny bit of questioning. "Are you sure, Judge?" The case, "Yes, I'm sure." That just that little bit that was respectful and courteous was enough for him to think I believe. No, he's accepted the rulings. This lawyer's not pushed back. He's been very reasonable. Let me look at that a little more. So at least that's my experience. That's one that really sticks out to me. Uh, that's how we want to be as lawyers, respectful of the law and the judges. Doesn't mean the judges don't get it wrong sometimes. We argue with passion, and we also have appeals, and we don't want to bring an energy of disrespect, an energy that's overly aggressive. It's futile. Let's take a deep breath together and just be grateful to be alive this Tuesday. May the work that we do today help reduce suffering in the world. May it help reduce suffering in our lives. May we be kind to ourselves. May it help reduce suffering in our clients' lives and in everyone's lives. May we fiercely and compassionately advocate for our clients' causes. I'm going to ring a bell 3 times now. Let this take you to whatever place is sacred to you, a place of meditation, of prayer, or just let the sounds wash over you and remind you it's Tuesday. Go out, do good things, and have fun while you're doing it.